so part 2 has quite a few of the shapes that I covered in part 1, so have a good watch of that first before attempting this one. So to start with, we're going to be using a sort of G major chord shape, which is going to be third finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, and then second finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and we're going to be plucking the thick E and the B string together to start with, and then we're going to be plucking the A, D, G straight afterwards, so we get. And the next shape we got is the second finger on the 2nd fret of the E string, and the 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then we go, which is actually plucking the E and the B again together, and then playing G, B, G again. So we get, if we add that to the first shape, we get, okay, and then we simply play the E and the B string together, and then we play 2nd fret of the D, and an open G, back to the 2nd fret, and then we have a slide from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret of the A string, and we're going to use our 3rd finger for that, but also put down your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, so we get that sort of, it's almost like a C major chord shape, and we're going to play that A string and slide up to the 5th fret, and then we're going to play D, G, D, so we get, and then we bring it back down to our C major chord sort of position, and then we go A string, D string, G string, then back to the D string but open, and then hammer on the 2nd fret, so we get, and then we play an open G, and then we go to this new shape where we go 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A, and plucking the open G string and hammering on the 2nd fret of the G string, so we get that sort of shape. So in context we have like that, okay? And then 2 open Gs, and then 2 on the D, open G again. Then we have the next shape, which is simply 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and then pinky on the 5th fret of the E string. And we arpeggiate this by going E string, A string, D string, A string, and then we change down to a sort of E major chord shape starting on the 3rd fret of the thick E string, just having that shape there. And we arpeggiate that all the way up to the G string, so it's E, A, D, G. So that part in context. Okay, then we need a bar on the 2nd fret from the G string to the E string, and we need to add our pinky to the 5th fret of the B string. Then we pluck the D and the E together, and then we go G, E, D, and then we need our 2nd finger to come to the 3rd fret of the A string, pluck the A and E together, and then D, E, B. So it goes. Okay. And then we play the A and the E together, and then the D string, B string, G, B. So we get, and then we have open A, 2nd fret of the D, and then we need to pull off with the 1st finger, 1st fret of the B string to open. Okay, so it goes. And then we come to a arpeggiated G chord, which is literally 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the E, play that one, and then D, G, B, all open, okay? And then we need 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the E, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and then it's E and the B together, and then 2 open on the G, and then 2 on the D, so it goes. And then we need an open E and B together, and then 2, open 2, and then we're repeating that part with the slide, and then we're repeating those 2 shapes here. Okay, then we repeat that barred chord shape with the pinky, and that one. And then we go open, 2, And then we need to do another slide backwards and forwards, and it's the first finger on the first fret of the B string, second finger, second fret of the D string, and we pluck those two together and slide it up to 3 and 4, and then back down to 2 and 1, and then open, so it goes, so all together like that, okay? And then we're back to our sort of G, and then we have a slide 2 to 4 on the G with the second finger, and then first finger comes down to the third fret of the B, so it's, and then we want to bring the thumb right over the top and play the second fret of the thick E string and with the open E string. It's quite a complicated bit, this bit. Okay, so from that G part, and then we're back to the third fret of the B string, and then we need to do a slide from the third to the second fret, a bit like a bluesy thing, and then a pull off to open. So that whole bar goes. Then we have another shape, which is second finger, second fret of the D string, third finger, second fret of the G, and we're plucking the G, the D and the thick E together, but we're going to slide this shape up to the 4th fret, so it goes, and then an open B afterwards. So, and following on from that, we have that slide thing again, and then we're coming into the chorus, which goes open A string, second fret of the D, open G, open B, so it goes. That part is second finger, second fret of the thick E with an open B, and then using the third finger to play the second fret of the G, and then we play all 3 of those notes together, so it's, and then bring the pinky to play the third fret of the B string, so we've got, and then we go into our G arpeggiated again. And that was the 2 E strings together, open D, open G, third fret of the B string, and then we've got second fret of the E, open D, open B, second fret of the G, and then open E, second fret of the D, G, D, and then that slide. And then those 2 shapes again. And then we've got that barred shape, and then that one. And after repeating that shape, we have our open A, second fret of the D, open G, and then we need to bring our pinky to the third fret of the thin E, and our first finger to the first fret of the B, and we need to pluck those 2 together, but pull off the 1 to open, so we get. So the previous 3 notes. Okay, so it's, and then to the third fret of the both E strings, and then open G, thin E, and then we have, which is plucking the E string with the thumb, the D string with the first finger, and the B string with the second finger, but then hammering on 1 on the B string and 2 on the D string. Okay, and then it's open B, and then open B with the thin E, the third fret on the thin E. So that whole part goes. And then the last bar is quite a stretch. It's the first finger on the third fret of the thick E and the pinky on the 7th fret of the thin E. Play those 2 together, and then open D, open G, open B, and then just bar the 5th fret from the A string to the E string. Play the A and the E together, and then the B string, G string, B, E. So we get that whole last bar.
face at first, just go sleep. Turn